Okay, well, here I am again. I'm still here. Um, I'm not a videographer, so terrible lighting. I mean, I don't think you could accentuate the bags under my eyes anymore. Let's see here. Let's see if I can do this, actually. Eh, whatever. Hopefully, you can hear me. And I'm crooked. There we go. Okay. That's as good as it, oh my god, that's as good as it gets. So today was a day. Um, Trying to be composed and put some thoughts down and just kind of catch up, vlog for a moment. I saw let's see here, I got up at 6 and had a CAT scan at 8:30. Before that, I had my blood drawn. Then I had an 11 a.m. appointment with a nutritionist, and then I had a 1:20 appointment with my oncologist. That ended up being a 2:30 appointment. I have absolutely no criticism about doctors. There's good ones, there's bad ones, there's ones that lean towards this direction and ones that lean the other way, and there's ones that just right down the middle. And, as I've said in some of my posts before, is that you want to be in alignment with your doctor. You want to find someone that you believe in, someone who has the same outcome for you that you believe in. And then you have to make a choice whether you're going to go down this path. Are you going to go down the chemotherapy, radiation, surgery path? That's another decision that you have to make. And today, I'm not giving any advice whatsoever. I'm not qualified in any way whatsoever. But today, it struck me that they're not even sure if what they're looking at on the CAT scans is actually cancer. They can't measure it. What I have going on in my rectum is thickening of the walls, and so they suspect that that's cancer. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if what they're looking at today is what was biopsied 6 months ago. And what are those tests like? Are they 100%? Can they look at the cancer and say, yes, this absolutely is? Or are they just bringing together a bunch of factors that most likely probably fit into a diagnosis called cancer? I don't know. If you're a doctor, if you're an oncologist, you just happen to be watching this, strangely, fill me in. I'm sure it's different for different cancers. Mine just might be hard to see. There's also lesions in my lungs, which I've talked about before. They sound really small. What's going on in my colon sounds really small. And then we're talking today about, I asked my doctor, well, how will I know if I'm cancer-free? Like, at what point do we say I'm cancer-free and we can stop treatment? I can move on with my life. And I wasn't really stoked with his answer. It was basically, I'm not cancer-free until every possible sign of cancer has been obliterated from my body. And like I said, not an expert. If it's true that we always have cancer cells sort of cruising around in our body that our immune system takes care of naturally, then that's never going to happen. I'm never going to be cancer-free. That's not a goal to go for, I guess. We're talking, after chemo, it's radiation and lung surgery. Um, and I was listening to him talk, and I just thought, this is like trying to kill a spider with a nuclear bomb. Like, it's too much. Like, what I have going on is small. It's not, the volleyball sized cyst that I have that was taken out. But what's left? Like, am I going to be like? Maybe a better analogy is like trying to kill a spider in the dark with a sledgehammer in your house. So you're just beating your house all to hell, trying to kill a spider that may or may not be there. You're not exactly sure where it is. You're just going nuts trying to kill the spider. Is that reasonable, or is that batshit crazy? I don't know. Actually, I do know. I know how I feel about it. And how I felt about it became very strong when I left my doctor's office. I just walked down the hall and I was like, this is not for me. This is not going to be my life. I feel like when you start down a path, whatever path it is that you commit to, first of all, you have to believe it and be behind it 100%, and I'm just not. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm just not. I think there's flaws in the way that we approach cancer in particular. It seems to make people crazy. It really does. But I think that when you follow down a path, maybe especially one that you don't believe in, that maybe you start creating so much momentum on this path. And that's what I saw in an instant when he was talking to me, when he was explaining chemo and then radiation and then lung surgery, and then it just felt like, not to mention I still have to have another operation on my colon just to do a reset, to hook the plumbing back up. But I was just like, I just saw this like, oh my gosh, this can turn into something that could potentially destroy my quality of life. Yes, I might be alive, but do I want lung surgery? Like, for something that probably isn't going to kill me, probably isn't even going to affect me. I have no issues in my lungs whatsoever. I have, right now I have no issues in my colon. Obviously it's being diverted, but is the thickening in my rectum, is that what caused the bowel obstruction? I don't know. Is it thickening in the entire sigmoid colon before that, which reading the surgery notes for my surgery, it was all thickened and damaged and distended, and it was a mess. It was a huge mess, and plus it was filled with the equivalent of rocks. So is that really the problem? I'm going to do one more series of chemo because that feels right to me. Because I feel like chemo does work. I know that it does work. Plus, it'll also give us information. If all of it goes away after chemo, then we would have known it was cancer. But then it's already gone away. But then it's gone away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like. But if I go through the go through the chemo and nothing changes in my colon and nothing changes in my lungs, does that mean that I'm not responding to the chemo, or does it mean that it's not cancer? These are all open-ended questions, and these are really important things to know and questions to have answered. And I wish the diagnostics that we have, at least in my case, were more black and white. I'm just getting a lot of well, we don't really know, or probably is, or it most likely, or it seems like, um, like, I think that's a hard thing, is that you're going to an expert for their expertise, but they're limited, because everyone's different. Diagnostics, their approach, the story, your narrative, how the whole thing happened, the information that comes out, and all the pieces come together, and how each expert interprets those puzzle pieces. You could have a different narrative from each physician that you go to, even ones in the same specialty. And then you have yourself, and you have your body, and you have your intuition, and you have what you feel, and what you think is happening. But you don't know. You don't know anything about cancer. You don't know anything about even how to read a pathology report. I'm at least fortunate enough that I know the language. I can read it and understand what's being said. Mostly. Oh, it's a tough one. It's really, really, really a tough one. But yeah, it was almost like the decision was made for me. The way it was presented to me, it was just like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, if I die in 10 years from this cancer and have none of those treatments, I think I'd be completely happy with that decision. The cancer I have is known to be, I should say, the cancer that I might probably have is known to be aggressive, very aggressive. I haven't been on chemo for August, September, October, for the better part of 4 months. And it's not gotten bigger, it's not changed. It may have gotten smaller. We can't seem to get the medical records. We can't seem to get all of the CT scans in the same place to, like, one of those little picture books that you flip open and you give an animation. It's like that. Like, somebody please read all of my CT scans from beginning to end. Like, make some sense of this. No one knows, And like I said, it's all up to interpretation, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm exhausted. Yesterday I worked in the morning, and then I drove to LA, and I had the most wonderful evening with a really good friend of mine who I hadn't seen since any of this happened, and we went out for dinner, and it was the first time that I was social in a very long time. Definitely since this has been since 6 months. And it was nice. It was nice to not be sick. The unfortunate thing is we used to be really close friends. Now I have a colostomy bag. Of course, I didn't mention that, but I had to. Our friendship has changed. Obviously, that's not going to be a factor for a while. Read between the lines on that one. So that was a little bit tough, but it was just so nice to be out, and really, really nice. And then I woke up this morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and started my day, and I was going to drive the 5.5 hours home, but I didn't quite make it. So I don't like driving after dark. I don't have great night vision, and especially when I'm a little tired, especially when I'm a lot tired. As much as I would love to see my dog tonight and be in my own home, I found an absolutely wonderful motel. I just know from driving past this place that my view outside my window in the morning is going to be spectacular. And I'm off tomorrow. I'm not in any hurry to get home. So That's my vlog for today. Hope that made sense. If you're going through something right now, my only advice is trust your intuition. And even when I walked out of the hospital and I was like, this is definitely not for me. Like, this is not the path that I want to gain momentum on. Still, I've had a lot of time to think on this drive home, and there's a part of me that's a little bit scared, but so I'm learning how to have conviction in something that's really important to me, and something like putting myself first and believing in that. That is a self-doubt. And I don't struggle really with self-doubt, but this one I actually am, because it's such an important thing. So if you're going through something right now, trust that. Trust. Observe yourself in your situation. Observe your reactions to what's being told to you by your people who care about you, by people that you trust, by people in the medical field that you trust, by the experts, by maybe people that you don't know that well. Like, observe yourself in these situations. How does it make you feel? And question that. And are those feelings real? And try and find a connection with your own guidance. And for me, I think that's becoming a theme. So unfortunately for me, I have to get a little bit pissed. I have to be a little like, oh, hell no, before I'll have some conviction. And even then, after I sort of cool down a little bit, I'll still get a little like, maybe I'm overreacting, or maybe I'm being too stubborn, or, maybe this or maybe that. And then, so now I have to look at that like, am I being stubborn? I might be. Someone might consider me being stubborn, but do I think I'm being stubborn? I actually don't. And it's my opinion that matters. And it's your opinion about yourself that matters. And that's actually the only thing that really matters. And, sometimes you're going to make some decisions that are going to scare other people. And I think that's one of the issues with cancer, is it scares people, and it scares the people who love you, and it scares the people around you. So, be prepared for some tough conversations. I have very supportive people in my life, but I also have people who don't want to lose me. And they want me to do everything possible to stay alive and to stay here. And of course I love that and appreciate that. And, that's part of human connection and human relationships, is that you have people in your life who feel with you and who feel for you. And, sometimes you're going to scare people. I'm not looking forward to it. I told my one girlfriend via text, so not really a conversation, but I told her a little bit how I was feeling, and she understands, of course. But she's also playing the devil's advocate just a little bit too, which is making me question myself, and then making me question why I'm questioning myself. So this is why, if you're on a 5.5 hour drive, get an audiobook. Maybe listen to some music, maybe not sit in your head the whole time and think. But it's just part of it. So if you're going through something right now, just trust yourself and trust your body. That's it for now. I hope you have a great night, and I hope you have a wonderful day. All right, bye.